I never know what to say in the beginning, so we just kind of like freeze frame our faces.
I know, we need to work on that. Are we live? Is it happening?
We are live and in
Girl.
HD, but not on Facebook because Facebook doesn't support that. What?
Oh my God, how are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm sort of leaning more into February. I'm feeling the month of love. I'm feeling Black History Month. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right.
Ready.
I'm just gonna give you all a moment. I'm just gonna leave this here. She's gonna make
good.
Yeah.
She's gonna be making frequent appearances.
She's gonna be making frequent appearances. That's right.
Excellent. I love this Luke. I love it. It's very Valentine's. Very like sweetheart, sensual tropical fish.
Thank you. Yeah, I sort of was like, I was feeling, so when I start to experiment more with makeup, that's a good internal view into like my mental space. So stuff was just like, you know what? Yes, and blue, yes, purple, yes. You know what? It's not supposed to be a pride look, but let's just do a rainbow eye because we're halfway there and we might as well just round it out.
And we have the palette. It's right in front of us. What are we doing here? Yeah. Right? Like, well, as we were in this, I am in one of the many palettes that you bought me tonight.
Oh, really?
A lot of glitter.
Oh, yes. Girl, is that the pizza palette?
It's not the pizza palette, but the pizza palette also serves serious bronze looks. And I am also a deity tonight with this background. So
coordinating.
Very exciting.
Fully beatified.
Yeah.
Saint Brooke presiding.
My spin-off podcast, Beatified with Brooke Cardis.
Beatified with Brooke
Oh,
Cardis.
Man, the Beatitudes. What jams they were. There's a really good hymn that went with the Beatitudes. They never really made sense to me, though. They were very weird. They were always like, the meek shall inherit the earth, like all dichotomous, right?
Yeah.
Woo! And I was just like, Jesus, like pick a lane, It was a lot.
Do you want me to be chaste or do you want me to be extra? Because I can't do both.
Right, exactly. Like, all right, so you're a kid and they're like, the meek will inherit the earth. Mm-hmm. And you're like, okay, well, you've taught me so far to be pretty much a go-getter. And now you're telling me I'm going to get nothing for it. Yeah. And I just feel like there's some mixed messages here. And here we are. We're back to the Holy Ghost.
I don't know. Do you think I'm wearing my makeup in a God-honoring way? Do you remember that? Do you remember that viral video by like Girl Ministries or something like that? I can't remember.
Yes, you are. I think you are. My grandma used to tell us that if you showed your chest too much and you got sunburn, that was God telling you were a hooer. I don't know if we're allowed to say that, are we?
A hooer.
Hooer.
Well, you said whore, you didn't say whore, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, but a big slut. So tell us about the dish. We have so much to cover, but I want to get to the dish.
Okay, girl. All right, let's meet her. Let's find out what she's about.
Let's meet her. Her likes, her dislikes.
Yeah. Her sign. All right. So tonight we have
Pisces.
Mm-hmm. So tonight we have a main dish, and we have I have some cauliflower rice because I didn't think it would be right to serve this by itself.
Look at that china.
Oh, thank you, girl. So if we uncover the dish, I'll show you what's going on inside. Girl, every time. Keeping me on track.
Like when we live together, I'm like, did you pay utilities?
Right.
I'm like, you could put automatic payment on, I'm very subtle. I'm very subtle.
I'm like, I'm ready to go. And you're like, did you wash your legs? And I'm like, damn it. I knew I forgot one part of my body. Of course it was the money maker. All right. So this is I'm just going to pick this up and try and show it to you here. So these are coconut curry chicken meatballs. Mm-hmm. There we go.
So you made like something edible this week.
I did.
Which I think we should shout out because
I veered back into real food. We do try.
That's nice. That's nice. And that's nice as like a break for you because it's like a cold month. We don't really need to be making extra dishes and wasting food. So I like this. I'm here for it.
Yeah, dishes that are purely ornamental that should go inside nobody's body. That kind of thing. We don't need that.
Vienna sausages.
So I'm just gonna plate my dish here, and while we do that, why don't you tell me a little bit about your week, girl? I have to like scoot over here, buffet style.
Girl, scoot. It's been a really busy week, and it's only Tuesday, but like all very good, exciting things happening. My Almost my whole bunch of folks in my family are getting vaccinated.
That's exciting.
We're already vaccinated and are getting vaccinated this coming week. So I'm just like very excited about that.
Yes.
Family, both chosen and just inherited. So I just know a lot of folks, and that like makes me feel really good. And it also reminds me of the privilege of having a lot of white folks and a lot of middle class folks in my circle that have access to healthcare. But super light combo. So yeah, I'm good. And yeah, just chilling. Penny and I have gone on a lot of walks.
Oh, Penny.
Pennies. And yeah, I've been fielding some really hilarious gift stories from Instagram that are so funny about the worst gifts people have like given or received. So I want to do some quick shout outs. But before I do that, I want you to take a bite of the dish.
So let me show you the plated version here. This is the
what is that?
Oh, that's just a little sprig of cilantro.
Cilantro.
Girl, you know I love a garnish. All right.
Girl, garnishes are your love language.
They are. They really are. I think they just add so much fun and whimsy and color. So let me tell you about this dish. I made this. This is paleo. So last night we did some keto. This week we're doing paleo.
Excellent. Look at this tour. How are they?
Oh, they're great. They're great.
Really?
Yeah. And honestly, I have made this once before, so I kind of just wanted to make it again and tell you guys about it. But I made this for a January Whole30, which I jokingly called my Wild 30. So I was like, I gotta get this done while I'm still young and pretty. But that was past me. We're not really there anymore, you know? Now we're understanding of the ways that we change and develop over time. You know what I mean? But I was going
like
through
a whole 7. You were, girl, you were dedicated. You like called me and you're like, where do you find raw honey? Like it was insane. Like you were so in it. That was like what, 2 years ago now?
Yeah. I was like, I don't know what ghee and coconut aminos are. I'm lost. Yeah.
Help me. I'm in a Whole Foods. I've spent $400 and I have not left. So good. Well, that's good. Definitely post the recipe in the comments. We love to see it.
Absolutely.
I will definitely make something next week and I will make it real food. But if you want anything, if you've seen anything on my IG you want me to make, or give me a shout out with some restrictions, you know, I love a list of dietary restrictions and then a work around it. Love it. But you know what,
yes.
Eileen, I really think with your delicious meal, you should wash it down with a beverage.
Anything you have in mind?
I think maybe our new merch.
Oh, is it time already to unveil the merch? All right, so very excited about this. I don't even know how to introduce it, so I'll just show you. We have the official Oopsie Koopsie mug.
Oopsie Koopsie.
Mm-hmm. And so now this is just a prototype right here. We
Take
are gonna take a sip. Lean in.
Oh, look at that nice wide mouth. Look at sturdy handle. Everything you could need.
Standard size. This one is right-handed, which is kind of funny because I don't know who decided handedness in mugs means that you're the one who's looking at the design. But luckily, because I'm left-handed and this is a right-handed mug, you can
I'm
see
also
the design.
left-handed. So left-handed
I forgot
people.
That.
Yeah, left-handed people. This is for you. And we're excited. Our Oopsie Koopsie mugs will be available. We'll be giving them away.
Yes, we're gonna have a limited Oopsie Koopsie mug giveaway.
And you can drink anything out of them. Decaf coffee,
scotch,
hand sanitizer, hairspray, whatever you're into, whatever's getting you through the day.
Yeah.
We're in a good mental place.
Whatever feels healthy.
Whatever feels healthy and good for you.
Yeah.
I love the Oopsie Koopsie mugs. Here's my favorite thing. Hold it back up. Do all the work for me. I love the emoji that you chose for the Oopsie Koopsie mug.
The cringe emoji? Yeah.
It's like so accurate. But it's like
it's hard to see, but
so
it's slightly looking towards the Capitol building. But it's
I love it.
It's really hard to see with this focus.
I love it. So you too can get an Oopsie Koopsie mug. We love to see it. We'll be doing, I'm assuming, very sensual photo shoots for our merch rollout.
Yes.
So stay tuned to that.
Stay tuned. We'll give you details of how you can enter our small free giveaway for mugs. And then...
our small sensual mug giveaway. Very cool. Oh my God, I'm so excited. They look so good. That's so great. Well, I want to make sure we get to the hilarious gift things, and then you have to share your gift story.
Oh my God.
So thank you so much to everyone on the gram who shared their hilarious gifts that they've gotten. So at Lady Convections said that a man once bought me a star, like a literal star. You know, they give you those certificates of authenticity, and she told him I wasn't. She was like, I'm not a colonizer. I don't want that.
What am I gonna do? Move in? You know what I mean?
Right, like leave it up to men to be like, you want to own the space own. I just can't. I can't believe that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Kitten Knit Needles said she met a guy on Hinge and he told her that she had hazel eyes, but she has blue eyes. But he didn't believe her and he gave her a hazel eyeshadow palette to prove it.
So he mansplained her face to her.
He's mansplained her eye color.
Yeah.
Which is like an immutable trait on your driver's license.
Yeah.
That I just fucking love.
Like, I don't look in the mirror every day of my life and see my eye color.
And just because we don't hate men here at all, I'm going to share another story. It's not a man positive story, just so you know. But Getting Diggy with Kara shared that her best friend loves turtles. So Kara got her a fossilized turtle poop for her birthday. And she loved it. So that's a good reminder to get to know your friends and see what kind of poop they're into.
Yeah. Make good choices. You know, like Brooke, you might want to get her like a golden saint statue, something in that vein. And me,
or like a golden clitoris necklace.
Yeah. Golden clitoris. Or for me, you might want to get me a koi pond for me to live into.
I could never do the fish face. You're very good at it. We've done it?
Oh my God, look at my lips when I do that.
Oh my God, they're gone. They're gone. That's amazing.
Don't I look like I just had some work done? You know what I mean?
Like a sensual fish. You were so coy. See what I did there?
She's so coy.
Anyways, so good. So what is your...
Good night, everybody. No.
So I challenged you last week to think of a gift story. And I don't know if you had one from last week.
I didn't share one last week, but oh boy, did I think of one. It's the kind of story that you block out of your memory because it's sort of like low-key traumatic, or maybe actually traumatic.
Actually traumatic, yeah, probably.
But also, fun aside, it's from when we lived together. # roomie from another woomie.
Oh my God, girl. I will say, Eileen, you give people the ultimate benefit of the doubt. So much so, I'll be like, hey, that person was an asshole, like, to us. And you'll be like, I don't remember that. Oh, yeah, I do. But, like, you're just such a good person, and you always see the best in everybody. And I don't think you should ever lose it. I love it. But it also means you probably, had to uncover some memories.
Yes, and yeah. Thank you. That's very generous of you to say. And I do have this tendency to be like, well, maybe they had 20 bad days in a row. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like,
I mean, I would like someone to make space for me not being perfect, but this one was definitely not in that category. I think this is the kind of one where you just immediately are like, yeah, I can't rationalize that one for him. I can't do the work for them. So I was gonna go on a date with somebody, and things were going pretty well. I think we had talked before, but we hadn't really. Oh no, that's not true. I did make out with them once. So initial makeout had happened. We exchanged numbers. We were texting. We had made plans to have dinner this fine evening, and I was getting myself ready. I was doing my face, and I think someone else was over too, and you guys were hanging out downstairs, but I can't remember who it was. And so when I was getting ready,
if you are watching and we were hanging out, comment. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, please, because
I really don't remember.
I can't remember who it was, and they probably remember this story as it was happening too. But I got a text, sort of like not part of the planning. It was just sort of an extra text that I wasn't expecting, and it said, "Oh God!" It said, "Eileen is a transvestite. Heel/she'll be a good time." And I'm like, I feel
Comment in the fucking chat. Thread.
Oh, could you imagine?
I remember that because I was so. I'm just no. I'm gonna.
You know what? And I was pretty like. This is the kind of this is the time in my life by this point where that kind of comment would not ruin my day. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. That's
but
real.
you're kind of like. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, okay, what the fuck do I say next? And then I think what I texted back was something like, transvestite, huh?
Holy shit.
Like, and then he was like, oh, no, I'm sorry. That text was meant for somebody else. Like that text was meant for my wife because he was in an open marriage, which is totally fine. That's not the bad part of the story.
Yeah, right. Plot twist. Twist.
That's actually fine with me. Like totally fine. But it was like, I'm sorry, who was that meant for? And he was like, oh, that was meant for my wife. And I was like, do you think it matters who it was for? He's like, oh, well, I have some other friends who identify with that term. And I was like, who are your friends, Dr. Frankenfurter?
Are you in a time machine?
Yeah.
Also, heel/shield, never okay. I think we can all just agree on that.
And we had a discussion about, like, I'm not trying to say, like, we're not getting into passability politics here, but we had a pronouns discussion. You know what I mean? This should not have been surprising.
You can have a pronouns discussion. You present the way you present. That's it. You said not anything. There's no discussion. There doesn't need to be a discussion. And if there was a discussion on top of that, anyways, I was infuriated. I remember that night.
Oh my God.
I was so mad.
I was mad. Yeah, I came, so I was like, do, came down the stairs. I was like, guess what this mother sent to me in a text. And what I sent back was, have fun at dinner by yourself.
Yes, and I don't actually remember who I was with. It's probably an ex-girlfriend. I really don't remember. We were probably on the couch, like, watching The Office. I have no idea, but I probably kicked them out because I was like, we need to focus
or like,
on a revenge plan. Yeah.
So
I just can't.
Funny story, I did actually end up going to dinner anyway because I was in the mood to yell. I was just like, let's talk about this. Because I didn't, and again, Brooke, after the fact, you were like, listen, girl, you do not need to give this person another chance. You know what I mean? It was like,
yeah, but I think it's also like, it's also not anyone's job, especially like cis people, to police that. Like, I get that, and I would have made a different decision, but I also am like, get you a free meal, yell at a cis dude, wrap it up. Like, no judgment there either.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually great. If anyone just wants to go out to dinner and have me yell at them and then pay for it, like, that sounds really great.
Yeah, then find me on FetLife. Yellatme.com/Eileen Galvin.
Backslash coming at ya.
Backslap. So, I was just in the mood to yell. And, like, trans people, back me up if you're in the comments and you're feeling comfortable disclosing about these situations, because after a certain number of years, you get tired enough where you're like, I don't want to have the entry-level conversations anymore. You know what I mean? I want to kind of skip to the good stuff. But, like, it's kind of fun to talk about myself. I'll admit it. I have a vain streak. But I was just like, let's leave this interaction with you realizing, hopefully,
right?
Like, let me just tell you some of the reasons why you should never do this again.
Right. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, because in many other ways, this person was, like, not bad with, like, transliteracy. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was like, wow, this person, we had conversations, and I was like, wow, you get it. You appreciate me for who I am and not just, like, are fetishizing this part of me. But then you come out with this text message, and I'm like, let's back that up and talk about it a little bit.
This is the difference between how people talk about any group of people, but in this case, trans people, to trans people, and then about trans people.
Yes.
Right? Like, and that's what's even more infuriating is he fucking knew. When he fucking knows what to say and then chooses that, that's the problem. Like, that's, one of the many problems. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the problem isn't, I'll respect your pronouns when I'm in the same room with you. And then it's like, okay, but what if when you're not? Because that's when the work needs to be done anyways. And, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's a fantastic point of, like, hey, this does not give me confidence when you're like, oh, yeah, I respect her. I call her what she wants to be called when we're together. It's like, there's a little bit more to it than that.
Penny is growling. She's so mad. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down.
I remember.
I know. You hate him too. Come on, lay down.
Yeah,
How was dinner? as we close out this story, how was dinner? Which was the gift?
Yes. It was at the Pearl, and it was very nice.
Oh, you know what? Okay.
Yeah. It was some like truffle garlic fries. You know what I mean? I love a truffle garlic fry.
I also do.
To get me through my rage.
That actually sounds delicious.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, so I don't, it's kind of like, I don't know if that's exactly a gift story, but I got the gift of surprise.
Clarity.
The gift of clarity. Mm.
What a
gift
douche.
of clarity.
Anyways. So cool. Well, I know we had some more things to talk about in the non-monogamy space, and we got a couple questions on IG about it. I'm not going to use anybody's name on that because I just feel like, whatever. But I wanted to kick off this
privacy.
Yeah, the privacy. Unlike our government, which doesn't. But just a little pro-choice reminder. Oopsie koopsie. And yes. We will definitely have to give one away at like the end of the impeachment trial or something. We'll have to think about that. We'll have to keep your eyes peeled.
Keep it fresh. Keep it fresh. Keep talking about it. Keep that little historical moment from getting buried under the
this little Amazonian river fish on our chat.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to share and talk and have this kicked off with kind of like one myth about non-monogamy.
Oh yes.
Versus the reality, because I think we both have a million of those, but I want to kick it off with that conversation. And I think for me, the biggest myth around non-monogamy versus the reality is, the myth is that I guess that there is just so much ridiculous sex. And the reality is there's so much ridiculous conversation. There's just a lot of talking. There's a lot of talking to a lot of different people. There's a lot of talking with your therapist. There's a lot of talking with friends. There's just a lot more processing of your in monogamous relationships and monogamous spaces. I like taking that habit with me because I think it's actually really helpful.
Yes. Communication is a feature, not a bug. And if you do not like communicating and sharing and oversharing and all that stuff, it's going to be a skill that is going to need to be developed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you have to.
Well, and I think that's the other piece. Yeah, it's a muscle, but I think it's it's just so much communicating and also learning about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably the biggest myth. What is the myth you encounter the most?
Actually, it's related to a question we just got in the chat, which is, how do you deal with it when one partner is more active than the other? So the myth for me, which is this is huge, right? In polyamory, non-monogamy, it is a complicated thing. And I think people think that you're going to agree to this. Okay, we figured out the boundaries, we figured out the rules of engagement, and we're going to have this perfectly parallel, even experience. And most of the time, it's not an even experience, right?
I mean, just odds are, right?
Yeah.
What are the odds are that you have different needs.
Yeah. And someone's going to go out, they're going to be very, good at interactions with strangers. They're going to be very good at being emotionally vulnerable. That give and take that happens with getting to know people. Maybe it's like separating out feelings of intimacy from physical fun. You know what I mean? Because there's that balance in there too.
Right.
And the other person may be a little bit more introverted. They may have a harder time forming those meaningful connections with people. That doesn't make them bad, but I think when you start to, it's only natural to start comparing yourself to your partner.
Right.
And see, well, they're doing it better than me, or they're having more success with this. And it's really hard to remember that it's not a competition. You know what I mean? Part of the really hard work of loving somebody sometimes is to say, hey, I'm really glad that you're going out and having great experiences. It's not working out for me so far, but we'll get there. I'm not going to give up. It's okay. But me having some struggles and frustration, as long as the other person is showing up for you with empathy, that shouldn't take away from the fact that they're like, oh my gosh, I had this great experience the other night. It was really great. And I just want to talk about it. It's cool. Let's talk about that.
Well, and I also think on top of that, and I love that point, that if their situation shifts, so maybe you're the more active one and then there's this shift, that also has to be a conversation, right? Because it's like, oh, okay, you know, yeah, I was whatever. And then the person who maybe was a little more dormant or introverted finds that person that is really supplementing that piece that they wanted. And now and maybe something with you has calmed down, or maybe you've kind of are working on other things. So you've kind of closed it for you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit. Right. Like, oh, you know what I mean? And you have to navigate that. So it's like, hey, if in, you know, whatever was more lopsided and you were like kind of managing your partner's jealousy or whatever that was, obviously you're not going to manage their jealousy, but like dealing with it. And then and then you're like, I don't understand why they're so jealous. And then like the role reverses and you're like, wah.
Yeah. And then you find yourself sometimes, I have a friend who, was like, oh, I'm going to figure this out for the first time with my partner because we're both feeling like this is something that we want to do. And so they do it, and then it's the situation of what the perception is that it's uneven, right? Like someone's really good at it, that they're good at it, they're going out, they're meeting people really easily, they're having a few different experiences. The other person is maybe staying more at home. They've had some like non-starters, and they're like, this, you know, I wasn't ready for that. So it's like you might get part of the way there and ready towards like physical intimacy and decide, no, I can't do this right now.
Girl, you hit on my favorite myth of non-monogamy.
What is it?
Oh my God. And then no, this is the thing. Like you can talk a big game and it sounds really good. And oh my God, like you can't own love. You can't own any person, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Eat, pray, love.
Great.
Yeah.
Eat, pray, love. Eat all the gelato. Do you?
Yeah.
Go to Italy and then come back.
The key to non-monogamy is just a good skincare routine. Right.
Is snail mucus cream that you sent me for my birthday that I love.
Yeah, that's the future liberals wanted.
Just snails on your face. Yeah. But like, I really am like, no. Like, it is very different in action. And there's nothing no conversation, dare I say no video cast, nothing can really replace the act of a partner going on a date while you're sitting at home. Like there's just no replacement for that feeling. And it doesn't matter how many books you read, and you should read The Ethical Slut, and then you should like go to Time Machine because it's from like 30 years ago. And there's still some good stuff in there, but you know, and if you have any other good books for non-monogamy, go ahead and comment in the chat. But like,
yeah, please do.
I think that's the other piece of this, right? Is like, there is a lot of discussion around it. And then there's a lot of things that you will not learn from a book because it's so individual. And I feel like a lot of times, like Ethical Slut, the book's like, depends on you, like, right? And it's just like, yeah, it does, you know? And it's good to know the range of where you could land. Kind of like what you said, like polyamory is different in my head than non-monogamy.
Yes.
But some people, right? So explain that to our viewers.
Well, this is the tough thing because just like the, you know, we're not experts here. I mean, we will tell you what to think, but we can't.
We absolutely
we will tell you what to think, but we can't, you know, claim to any kind of like absolute truth here. You know what I mean? This is just, that's not our vibe. So, but I think just like the way that there are infinitely many ways to be queer, or there's infinitely many ways to be trans, non-monogamy is a different discussion between any different group of partners. So, my understanding of it, and please correct me in the chat because I also am not, there probably have been changes in language, which change in language is a good thing, contrary to popular belief. But my understanding is that non-monogamy is a broader category that encompasses all types of relationships that do not adhere to the assumption that you are going to form a relationship with one person and then close the relationship. So it's expansive beyond one partner.
Multiple partners.
Yeah. And so polyamory is a like a specific category within that of people who form loving relationships or fall in love with more than one person. So like, for instance, I would consider myself non-monogamous, but I would not necessarily consider myself polyamorous because for me, up until this point in my life, I've only ever fallen in love with one person and then had other, you know, there's so many terms out there. Some of them are not so polite, but I like the term friend with benefits. And the reason I do. And I'm being serious. I mean, the reason I like that term is because I actually value friendship. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that means, yes, I I love you as a friend. You know? Like, to me, friendship is a kind of relationship where you care about each other and you want there to be mutual caring for their emotional state and what they're going through. And does that make sense?
Yeah, and I love that because I think that's also the ethical piece of all of this, right? Mm-hmm. Which, like, you know, folks can be very ethically non-monogamous or non-ethically non-monogamous too. So it's like, hey, I'm going to respect this person.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's really valuable. I want to get to one of the questions on IG that I got that I really, really love, that I just think is so relevant right now, which is, how do you come out? And like, when do you come out as like non-monogamous or poly or however you identify? And I love that question because I've been thinking about it. And I'm going to answer the question first because it came in through my IG. So if you really want to know, it's one of my like couple dozen followers. So now you know. And follow me on IG if you don't, up that numbers. Not gay isn't happy, all the underscores. But I will say, was really interesting to me because I feel like coming out as non-monogamous or polyamorous is almost like coming out as queer, in that it's easier to do it when like you're practicing actively. Like, it's a lot easier to explain to someone or not explain, because no one deserves that. Okay. You don't have to explain yourself. But like, think about what it's like coming out when you're like, when I came out to my mom and I was like, I'm gay, but then I was like, I'm gay and here's my girlfriend, Jojo Siwa. It's always easier, right? Right? She's a girlfriend.
It was me. No.
Right? Like, it's just so much easier.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, JoJo coming out was amazing.
No, baby.
Because
queer.
because she has a following of young people. Like,
and she has a girlfriend.
Young people.
They're so cute.
Yes, it's adorable.
They look identical. They're what we need in the world. I'm like, oh my God. They love it. You know what? That's what gay men do. They date themselves. So I just feel like it's good that it's making it into the queer lady community as well. I'm really happy for it.
That's a whole night in itself, that whole topic.
It is. We'll take it. But you know what I mean? Like, it's easier, right? Because it's not easier, but like it's more concrete. And I feel like if you're like, oh, hey, I do this. It's like, okay, I do this, and this is the person, right? Like, you may meet them when we're out or whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is not easier, but maybe more understandable for people.
Yeah. Well, I completely agree with you, and it's hard to make comparisons between two experiences, period, right? Because
totally, absolutely,
no two set of yes, I think it's common for people to say, you know, well, it's not right to compare these two sets of experiences because, right? Like, non-monogamous people are not going through what queer people are going through. But that's also not what we're saying. You know what I mean? There are parallels between the experiences. And I like what you said about it's easier, I think, to come out when you, it depends on what the milieu, can I use that word?
Please use that word.
Yeah. Hey, AP English teacher, thanks. But you know what? What's the environment around you, right? Do you have other people who are open-minded? Do you possibly know other non-monogamous people in your life? Or are you in Upper Arlington going to the block party bringing covered dish? Because maybe Mary Lou across the street asks you if you're a showgirl and you don't want to have the whole conversation, so you just say yes. That could also be your experience.
We don't know. We never heard that story. We don't know.
Yeah. Oh dear, Mary Lou. So.
Oh, shout out to Mary Lou. I think for real. I think that's like, you know, you kind of have to kind of make that choice. And what that means is also, in a pandemic, if you're being safe, maybe you're not practicing as much, or you're being more, you know what I mean, thoughtful, or maybe you're using online outlets or whatever. But I just feel like it is one of those things. It's such a personal choice, and there's a lot of misconceptions around it. And we've heard that around so much. And I also think, like, low key, oh my God. So I got together with this woman, old friend, I think like a month before the pandemic hit. So we were in a restaurant, which was cool.
Remember restaurants.
And it was just like a casual Tuesday, and we decided to go.
Yeah.
Old friend, like from, I think when we were 20. And she's just like, hey, can I ask you something? Like, are you in an open relationship? And it came out of nowhere.
Why did she bring it up, do you think?
That's what I said. I said, why? And she said, well, my sibling is gay and he's in an open relationship, and I just assumed. And I was like,
there's the myth. That's interesting.
What? And it was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, I don't want to tell you I am because I don't want to prove you right. And I don't want to tell you I'm not because that'll prove you like there was no win.
Yes.
And I was just like, margaritas for everybody. Okay. Like, Garcon,
Martha,
like, what is happening?
Garcon, the next round's on me.
I'm just like, this is so terrible. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, you know, and I was like, well, I mean, it was this really ridiculous conversation. Not ridiculous. It was fine, but our experience in the queer community is so different than people who are looking in who are going, is this all of you?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Let me just corroborate your information right now, because I've had this experience where just being out and trans in the world, it was like there was a time where everyone on the dance floor thought that I was like looking for a couple to join. It happened all the time. Like they just you could just sense it, the energy of like, you know, I like to dance by myself. You know,
you are also very good at dancing by yourself.
Oh, thank you. Like dancing on my own, Robin. And that's a whole thing of like men feeling entitled to space and like sort of encroaching upon you. It's like, how did you come at me from both sides at once? You know what I mean?
Time out. Comedian Angie Healy has a joke about that song because it's one of my favorite songs. And then she told me once, what if Robin was a ghost and didn't know it? If you listen to the lyrics again, I'm in the car now, watching you kiss her. Oh, and shout outs to Angie Healy, but re-listen to that as thinking about Robin as a ghost who doesn't know she's dead. And it is the spookiest song.
I want a Halloween cover of that song so bad now. Like it's just got a metal saw in it, like, woo.
I'm right over here. Why can't you see me?
I was dead the whole time.
Yes.
Oh no.
Anyways, okay. So you're dancing out on the dance floor by yourself and everyone thinks you want to be their unicorn, which is the phrase we used for that,
and
by the way.
Let's be real. I am a unicorn, but I'm not your
right.
unicorn.
You are, yes. Yeah. You're not yours.
I think you misunderstood what the term means. It means I like rainbows and I like to prance majestically.
Right.
That's the kind of unicorning I'm into. So you'll just like when you know that it's happening, you can sense it. You know what I mean? All of a sudden you're dancing and you can see over at the drink rail this couple look over at you very intensely. They might stay there for a couple minutes, they're making eye contact, and they'll just gingerly put their drinks down and they'll just
yes.
And it goes on forever and you're already planning like, what am I going to say to get out of this?
Oh my God.
Because I'm me, Brooke. I don't want to just like crush people. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I know. It's
I
one
also
of your
don't want
flaws.
But
you
it's
need
like,
to work on crushing people.
Yeah, but I also like they're halfway toward me on the dance floor, and I just want to shout, "No!" You know what I mean? Yeah.
I know it's so awkward, and like I just feel like you are legitimately a target for this. Like I've seen it. Like I'm here to share. It is so real, and I feel bad. I
must just walk around with this look on my face, like I just want to answer all of your questions all the time. Like I have nothing to do. I'm in no hurry to get anywhere, and I just want to talk to everybody.
You very similar to like a suburban sex toy show at the fairgrounds. Do you know what I mean? Like no, I don't. I'm not here to spice up your life. This is not Spice World. Like, this is not my job. You know what I mean? Get a subscription to something. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Exhausting. Get Blue Apron. Hopefully they'll be a sponsor soon.
So, I'm with you. I like the idea of Blue Apron, but...
Wait, want to spice it up? Instead of that threesome, get some fucking cumin.
Oh, okay. I get it now. I was like, how is getting Blue Apron going to make them not want to like come over to me on the dance floor?
I mean, nothing's going to stop these couples, is what I'm telling you.
It's just going to keep happening.
And as we continue to cliffhang, I am going to ask Eileen to share one of my favorite stories next week of the time she was accidentally almost asked for a threesome at the world's worst bar in Columbus, Ohio. So, what was it? Harrison's? Was it Harrison's?
Oh my gosh. Oh, you mean the time when like the other person showed up?
Yeah, you can't. You're gonna tell next week. It's such a good story, and it's so terrible.
That's another story I blocked out. Turns out.
I know it because you came home and you were like, "Girl, you'll never guess what happened." And I'm like, "Trust no one, and bring me on these things." Oh my God, there were so many things. I was like, "Bring me." I am very protective of Eileen. So this has been fun.
Yes.
Let's hold up that merch one last time.
One last time for the Oopsie Koopsie.
So good.
It's so good.
We will be doing merch giveaways. Please keep your eyes peeled for your chance at an Oopsie Koopsie mug. We know times are tough. We're not charging anything. It's been a whole thing. The pandemic is a bit of a thing. But once you get your Oopsie Koopsie mug, send us a photo of you drinking out of it. We'll feature it on our Instagram page when we get that up. So we'll have all adorable photos of precious people with their Oopsie Koopsie merch.
Precious friends pulling an Oopsie Koopsie.
We all know it. January 6th, never forget.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eileen Galvin. As always, my Neon Tetra Amazonian goddess. I love it.
This beta fish.
This is sensual retro
Swimming
beta
in
fish.
Circles, yeah.
This has been your queer deity, Brooke Cardis and Eileen Galvin, signing off.
Yes.
We cannot wait to see you next week. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We love to hear your questions in the comments and on our IGs. We love you all. Stay safe.
Yeah. See you next Thursday. Bye, everyone.
Tuesday.
Oh, God. Did I say Thursday? All right. I'm fired.